with Russians, the Russian government. The Russia scandal, the Russian government attorney. Let's go back to Russia. If he met with anyone else from Russia.
I've probably met with other people from Russia.
I've probably met with other people from Russia. Communications with Russians.
He said he may have met with Russian people. A lot of people meet with Russian people. He may have met with other Russian people,
including a Russian-American lobbyist with alleged ties to Russian intelligence. The meeting with the Russian lawyer that he thought was with the Russian government. The Senate committee investigating Russian interference in the election. Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with a Russian government lawyer leading the Russia investigation. Last year with that Russian lawyer.
Only about Russia, a part of the Russian government's effort. Forget about the meetings with Russians, where he forgot meetings with Russians, Russian government, because of the Russia thing.
With that Russian lawyer.
The Russian nationals, how the Russians attacked. So the Russians have found
Russian-paid internet trolls.
Is the Russians will be back. 21 states, the Russians attempted to hack.
The Russia investigation.
A meeting with a Russian lawyer, not a government lawyer, but a Russian lawyer.
Russian government's efforts.
Russian nationals, the Russian government.
In that meeting with the Russian lawyer.
To Russian interference, because the Russians are going to try again, as we know.
Those are Republicans on Capitol Hill, objecting to Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with a Russian lawyer last year and new revelations about Russia.
When it's the Russian government, Russians tipping the scale towards Donald Trump.
Including a Russian-American lobbyist with alleged ties to Russian intelligence.
The continuum of saying no Russia, no collusion.
Talking too much about the Russia investigation.
This Russia investigation deserves.
With the Russian government. From the Russian government?
You bet. We know the Russians will do this again, accept the facts that Russia attacked us.
Russians' influence and impact on the election, and I think that's important to your point. We need to make sure this doesn't happen.
As I have a message to white supremacists and Nazis who came.
And I think it's going to be revealed that it was white supremacist terrorism. For political reasons, by Nazis. Downside, folks, to condemning Nazis, white supremacists and Nazis. You look online that the Nazis are celebrating his speech. It's not been confirmed.
But Van, just to be fair for the president, he's not a white supremacist himself.
It feels like if it's a white supremacist group, come out and say, stop killing Americans, you Nazis.
They were there to promote their white supremacist ideologies. What do you say to the white supremacists?
We have seen Nazis coming in. They have been chanting Nazi slogans.
If you're supported by white supremacists
and with the white supremacists and say white supremacist terrorists. Right now, there are white supremacist groups that are
like Nazi, neo-Nazi groups.
But if you look at what the white supremacists are saying online, that has fought against Nazism and fascism.
With a statement that says white supremacy is not okay. Does it bother you if white supremacist groups are praised?
Perfect opportunity to speak out against white supremacists and white supremacy, and he didn't.